Good evening, everyone. We are live from Milano. I'm Michelle. I'm Pakistani. I've lived in Milan for about 3 years now, and I teach at Milano Meravigli. And with us, we have Liam.
Hi guys, like Michelle says, my name's Liam. I'm from Manchester in the United Kingdom, and I've also been living in Milan for about 2 years. I've lived in Italy for 3 years, and I'm a teacher at Milan Meravigli as well. And it's great to be with you this afternoon or evening. I don't really know where we are. I don't know, Michelle, 4 o'clock, evening, afternoon, what are we?
I know, I guess it depends which part of the world, right? In Italy, it would definitely be afternoon. Actually, it's afternoon in Pakistan as well. What about the UK? It's 4 o'clock
Yeah, this
evening. Oh.
4 o'clock is afternoon. I think 5 o'clock is the cutoff point. I feel like 5 o'clock is evening, 4 o'clock, you'd still say good afternoon.
Yeah, but in Italy, they say good afternoon up to about, well, they don't say good afternoon, but it's good day right up to 6, 7, even 8 in the south.
Ah, okay, in the south. Well, that's interesting because, like, here in the north, sometimes you get people saying Buonasera at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which really confuses me.
Yeah, that is really confusing.
Oh, hey, look, we've got people signing in already.
We have Leonardo from Rome. We have Katharina. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, and sorry, like Michelle's just written, guys, tell us where you're from. Please do contribute and write in. Let us know where you're from. Especially as well if you're from any of our other schools, because I know we've got some of our students from France and from Spain are possibly joining us, and that would be awesome as well. And if you're a student at Myers Meravigli as well, let us know which school you go to.
Okay, shall we jump right into it?
Absolutely. All right, so let's get straight to it. Okay, Michelle, what are we talking about today?
Today, in this focused activity, we are deciding what to do in a city, your teacher's hometown, superlatives, and making recommendations.
Very cool. And I think we've just got someone here, Chiara from Milan. Oh, look at Chiara's profile picture. It's a dog.
It's adorable. Is that your dog, Kiara? She's so cute. I love
Michelle,
dogs.
I was going to say, Michelle, you're a dog person, right?
I am. I am. I'm a hardcore dog person, and Liam is a cat person.
Yes, I am. I am indeed. Yeah. So, guys, in English, you can say I'm a dog person or I'm a cat person. Okay. Now, don't worry. That doesn't mean that you are, part cat, part dog, anything like that. It just means which of the two animals do you prefer? Which of the two animals do you like more? So, I like cats, so I'm a cat person. Michelle likes dogs, so she's a dog person. Michelle, you have a dog back in Pakistan. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yep, absolutely. I have a dog. She's white. She's a Russian Terrier. She's
Ooh.
adorable, but she is very annoying because
Oh.
small dogs bark a lot. They
Ah,
bark a lot.
okay.
So
And
that can be a little annoying.
what is your dog's name?
My dog's name is Ice. ICE because she's white.
Ah, nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, because Michelle, you said the dog barks. So yeah, a bark. And the other word, I guess, would be woof, right?
Woof.
Yeah. I'm not gonna like do too much of an impersonation.
Woof woof.
There you go. Thanks, Michelle. Thank God you're here. Yeah. Yeah, dogs bark or they woof. Or if it's a cat, that would be meow. Although
Hmm.
that depends. Different countries have different sounds as well. I know that I've learned that this is culturally non-specific. If you go to different areas, they have the different typical sound that animals make. For
Hmm.
example,
That's
we've got,
true.
who have we got here? We got Katerina's saying, I'm from Livorno, so not far from Pisa. It takes 20 to 30 minutes by car. Very nice. Great use of it takes. Marisa, I think, Michelle, you highlighted this one before, I
Hmm.
think. Live in Milan, but now I'm in Rome. And Eleonora says, I'm from Milan. Awesome. Okay. So let's rock and roll with this first group of questions, okay, where we are talking about a week in London. Okay, so just to be clear, Michelle, week in London, can I use another preposition here? Like, could I say a week to London, a week at London? Is that possible, or do I have to say a week in?
I wouldn't say a week at London. I would definitely say a week in London.
Yeah, I agree. I just wanted to check. So yeah, preposition, because it refers to your duration in a location.
That's a good explanation. Your duration in a location. I'm going to memorize that.
Ah, okay. Awesome. Yeah, guys, feel free. That's not copywritten or anything, so you can have that one. Okay. Michelle, go ahead.
Okay. Have you been to London? When is the best time? I'm just going to read them and then we can discuss them.
Sorry, got it.
Yeah. When is the best time to go to London? What are the most famous landmarks in London? What would you like to see? What would you most like to see in London?
Awesome. All right. So guys, we absolutely want you to participate in this conversation. So if you write in your answers, and we will try and highlight them for you. So Michelle, have you been to London?
I have been to London. I lived there for a while I was completing my undergrad degree. How about you? Okay, so let's talk about undergrad.
Oh yeah, this is a good one, isn't it? Because all these different stages in university are a bit complicated. So this is good.
So the undergrad refers to your undergraduate degree, which is your bachelor's.
So that's like, Michelle, that's the first stage of university when you're 18, 19 years old, for example.
Right. You just complete high school and you go to university and you get your first degree.
Okay.
In the UK, it's usually 3 to 4 years, but I know in some cases, like medicine, it's longer.
Yeah.
Have you been to London, Liam?
Yes, I have. I've been to London many, many times because lots of different members of my family live in London. So from a very early age, we would often go to London to visit my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. So yeah, I've been to London many, many times. We've got a question from Katerina.
Katerina says, what is the difference between have you been and have you gone? The first is connected to go and come back, and the second only to go and not to come back. Absolutely, Katerina, you're right. When you use the past participle been, you talk about going and coming back, and with gone, it's only when you leave and don't return.
Fantastic. Really good. Yeah, well done, Katerina. You are exactly right. Yeah. So, if I say I've been to Japan, that means that in the past I visited Japan and now I am not in Japan. Okay. But if I said Michelle has gone to Argentina, it means that Michelle is in Argentina at this moment.
Yeah. Okay. Leonardo has answered the question as well. He says, yes, I went to London 5 months. Don't forget the yes.
Very important.
5 months ago.
Awesome. Okay. So, and what did you think, Leonardo? Please let us know what you thought. Michelle, just before we go to the second question, you lived in London, you studied London. Do you like London?
I do. It's a nice place, but it is very cold. Not just in terms of temperature, but in terms of human interaction.
Ooh,
right?
Okay.
So it's cold because the weather is cold, but the people also tend to be a little cold. There is a polite facade of coldness.
Yes, I think we're quite famous for that in England.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I promise we're not like that in Manchester. We're much friendlier.
And how long does it take to reach London from Manchester?
Good question. It depends. If you take the train, it's 2 hours. If you drive, then depending on the traffic, it can be 3 hours if you're lucky, but usually it's going to be about 4 hours.
4 hours. Okay, that's not bad.
It's not too bad, no. But when I visited with my family, we would always drive. But if I ever visited myself, we would always take the train.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Okay.
so you've been to London a bunch of times. When is the best time to go to London?
Ooh, okay. Best time to go to London. Okay, well, Leonardo says the best time, in my opinion, is in autumn or the spring. Yeah, I think I would agree because despite our reputation, it can get pretty hot, especially in London, because it's the south of England, so it is a bit warmer than the rest of the country. And I mean, like Milan or like Rome or like New York or like any big city, when it's summer, when there's a lot of tourists, it's not a great place to be. It's hot, it's crowded, it's busy. I would say the best time to go would be maybe April or May or September, in my opinion. What about you, Michelle? What do you think?
I think May. May is really nice because you skipped the early spring showers. So I mean, there's rain, but there's a little less rain, and the sun's out. People are in the park. The tourists haven't come as yet, so it's not really crowded, as you said. It gets really bad when it's crowded because it gets sticky.
Yeah, sticky is a good one. I've just explained showers. I've just put that there because Michelle talked about the showers. So in English, when you talk about that, you're saying that it's not heavy rain, it's not like a storm, but it's these light moments of rain. So if you imagine, it's almost like the sky is a shower that you turn on and off, like that, for example. Michelle, you said it was sticky. What does that mean if we say that it's really sticky?
So when you're describing sticky in terms of the weather, it means it's hot and humid. But when you are using it, for example, on you're talking about an envelope which is sticky, it means it's designed to stick on contact.
Yeah, cool. Okay, nice. Okay, because it's like for example, when your clothes are sticking to you, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Katerina says, I visited London many times because my sister, after her graduation in architecture, has been there for about 2 years to work. Even if the weather is very crazy, the city is one of the most, and she just added here, the most interesting. The weather is very crazy. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. That's perfect. The weather is crazy. You experience winter, summer, autumn, everything in one day.
Exactly. And, British weather, if you want to describe it, we can even say, as Michelle said, 4 seasons in one day. Guys, it's the price we pay for being an island in the North Atlantic. It's what I say to people. It's the reason for the British Empire. We were just looking for some better weather. We just wanted some sun. Okay? I mean, think about
spice.
Some sun and some spices. We just wanted some better food and some better weather. All right. Okay, Michelle, I'll ask you this one. Famous landmarks in London. So what are some of the famous landmarks that people probably know in London?
Okay, so there's Big Ben, right? There's the Tower of London, the London Eye. Then you have Tower Bridge.
Yeah.
And the cathedral, right? St. Paul's, that's beautiful. Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
Hyde Park. And okay, so the museums, they're not landmarks, but I think they should be because some of them are really amazing, like the Natural History Museum and the Tate.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. What's Kiara said? The most famous are Big Ben or the London Eye. This is a good opportunity, guys, to just bring up one of the words that I think causes some confusion. And Michelle, you may have noticed this as well. This word monument. Because I think when Italians want to say landmark, they use monument. But I think for us, a monument is usually it's a building or a statue for, I don't know, to encourage people to remember something.
True.
Isn't, it's like, for example, I don't know, London, Big Ben. Is Big Ben a monument?
No, I would call it a landmark. Is it meant to commemorate something? I don't know.
No, it tells the time. It's a big clock.
Yeah, I was worried there was some ancient backstory that I had no idea about.
I mean, I would just say, I'm going to write a kind of, I don't know, maybe it's a bit of an excessive explanation, but I'm going to put this up, and I don't know if, Michelle, you want to add something to this, but this is how I would talk about a monument.
Right.
What do you think?
Okay, a building, a statue, a structure designed to make you think or remember something or someone from history. Absolutely. That's exactly how I would describe it. Like in America, you have the Washington Monument, which is quite common in TV shows and movies.
Yeah, because that's designed. Yeah, because that, the idea is you look at it and you remember George Washington, for example. So yeah, so I would say, for example, so yeah, Katerina's asking this question. So yeah, Katerina, they're similar, but they are different. For example, I would say that if you go to Rome, let's say, the Trevi Fountain is a landmark. But the Vittoriano is a monument, because the idea of the Trevi of the Vittoriano is to make you remember Italian soldiers who have died in battle, whereas the Trevi Fountain is a very beautiful fountain, but as far as I know, there's no historical importance to it.
Yep, I absolutely agree. Another example of a monument is the Taj Mahal in India, right? So that was designed as a monument to love, because the man who designed it, the king, the prince, his favorite wife, and I say favorite because he had several, his favorite wife died. So he constructed the Taj Mahal as a monument to her, as a monument to their love.
Beautiful. Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Remember, memory, to make sure that people remembered her.
Okay, question number 4. What would you most like to see in London? What is your favorite spot in London?
What would I most like to see in London? I would say affordable rent. I'm kidding. I would say, I don't know, because I've already seen quite a lot of the the famous places in London. I suppose I would like to go on the tour of Buckingham Palace, I guess, because I've never done that. I know that's something you can do, to go on the tour of Buckingham Palace. And there are some restaurants that some famous restaurants that I'd like to go to one day. Some places to eat that are very famous, but they're quite expensive and quite difficult to get a reservation. What about you, Michelle?
Yep, it's all about restaurants. Same here. So when I was in London, I was a student, didn't have much money, so I was, living a very basic life. But I did check out the museums and, London Eye and all of that. But what I really want to do is, there is a sushi bar on top of the Shard.
Oh,
I would like to go that, right? I think it's called Sushi Samba. Or
Okay.
Samba Sushi. Yep.
Wow.
I really want to try that out.
Okay, and is that so? The Shard is the is that the tallest building in London now?
Yeah, I don't know if it's still the
I don't
tallest
know.
building,
I don't
but
know
yeah, the
either. So
really tall building.
yeah, and it's at the top of the Shard, so it gives you that beautiful panoramic view of the city.
Yep.
And is it? I mean, have you looked at the menu, Michelle? How expensive? How bad are we talking here?
It's pretty expensive. It's pretty expensive. It's Nobu prices. So
Yeah.
as a student, I obviously was not able to afford that. And my parents were like, you don't need to dine at the
No,
Shard.
exactly.
Relax.
This doesn't count as an essential. I think mum and dad aren't going to bankroll that one.
No, no. They were like, no, no, sweetheart, no.
What's Leonardo said?
He says the most famous landmarks are Big Ben and London Eye, the Queen's jewelry, but my favorite were the park. Hyde Park is the most beautiful. This is true. I love parks, and in my country, unfortunately, we don't have many parks. And when I went to London, that was the first time I saw such a beautiful, massive park. Because the parks we
Really?
have are very small.
Really?
They're very small, yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, so you didn't have a lot of these kind of big public green spaces.
No, no, we don't,
Right.
unfortunately.
Okay. Okay. Just a little thing, Leonardo. You talked about the Queen's jewelry, and the name of that is the Crown Jewels. Okay. Just to because technically, even though this will sound strange, those jewels do not actually belong to the Queen. They belong to the Crown. Okay. They belong to. It's like they're the property of the institution of the state. Okay,
Right.
so when you go to London and you go to the Tower, you can see the crown jewels. Okay, I mean, I'm sure the Queen does have some pretty nice jewelry, some pretty nice stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and what's Katerina said? They can't know. I'm not sure, Katerina. What do you mean by that? Sorry, Michelle. Do you know what that might mean when she says they can't know?
No, I think maybe it was probably a typo, and she probably meant to say they can know, as in they would like to see.
Ah, okay, okay, gotcha. Yeah,
Big
I
Ben,
understand.
London Eye, and some amazing parks. Absolutely. There is some lovely, lovely stuff up in London, and there's always something to do. Even as a broke student, I often found so many things to do for free or at a discounted price because I was a student. So I really enjoyed that about the city.
Yeah, because in the UK, I don't know, Michelle, you've been to university in Italy, so I don't know if this happens, but in the UK, when you are a student, when you're a student, they you have like a card that says you're a student, and that gets you, for example, cheaper, I don't know, clothes, food, for
Mm-hmm.
example, some discounts, right? Do they do
Yep.
that here as well in Milan, do you know?
Yep, absolutely. If you're a student, first off, the universities have like programs with banks and stuff like that, so you can open an account with reduced rates.
That's
So
good.
they do have them, but not as much as they have them back in London. Because in London, it's
Okay.
very popular, and universities have several, affiliates. Ooh, affiliates
Oh, that's a
with
good one.
stores and places like that. But over here, if it's done on the side of the business. The business owner will decide, okay, I want to help, I want to give college students a discount, but the
Okay.
universities don't really actively pursue that here.
Okay, cool. So, thank you. All right, that's really good to know because yeah, I had no idea whether or not that happened here too. So, guys, here's some of the famous locations in London that we've talked about. So we've got Buckingham Palace, we've got London Eye, the Houses of Parliament, the Tower of London, Westminster Abbey, and the Olympic Stadium. And Michelle's just put up a really good definition of affiliates. Okay, that's a really good one to know. Michelle, that question at the top, what shall we do?
Hmm.
That word shall, what does that mean here? What shall we do? Is it like saying what can we do, or is it maybe different?
Yeah, absolutely. What can we do? What should we do? What could we do? Right? It's you're asking someone what their plans are.
Yeah. So it's like an invitation.
Yep, an invitation to make a suggestion.
Okay, an invitation to make a suggestion. I like that. Okay. Um, okay, so let's just quickly go through these. And I think if what you guys can do at home is maybe just ask us if any of this vocabulary is possibly unfamiliar to you. I'll read the first one. Buckingham Palace, the Queen's residence. You can do a tour of the house and the gardens, and you can watch the changing of the guard. That's the ceremony where the Queen's lifeguard changes. Okay. Michelle, you want to do the next one?
Sure, the London Eye, a huge Ferris wheel with views over London. So a Ferris wheel is the generic term for the London Eye. And you'll usually have versions of this in theme parks like Gardaland, for example. And you can sit in it, and it's different at the London Eye because it's a glass box, and you can stand in it very comfortably, and you can see it's a beautiful view. You get to see the palace as well.
Mm-hmm. Have you been up the London Eye, Michelle?
I have. I've my first 3 weeks there. I did every touristy thing you could imagine.
Really?
Yeah,
Just because you were.
I had friends who were from London, and they were like, we've never been up in the London Eye, and we've lived
Yes,
here. And I'm like, well, that's the benefit of being a tourist. Everything is exciting.
it's true. It's true. And you just kind of ticked off everything in
Yeah,
in a short period. Nice.
yeah. I was really excited to be there. It was the first time I spent a considerable time away from home. So it was like,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Katerina says, shall is one of the modal verbs. It refers to an invitation, but also to a duty. Yeah, I think it does.
Mhm.
It's like this sense of you're determined to do something. I shall do this. The famous line from the film Cinderella, you shall go to the ball, for example. It expresses the determination that it's going to happen. So yeah, very good, Katerina. Houses of Parliament, where the old and current Parliament sits. You can do the tour of that, which, by the way, I recommend. It is a fantastic tour. It's really worth checking out. You get to see some really interesting things and learn some very interesting things. I'm afraid it's free for British people, but I don't think it's free for foreign people. So, guys, you may have to pay, but I'm not sure how much, but it's worth it. And of course, you can see Big Ben, which is the famous clock tower. Okay, where there is. But just a little bit of trivia for you. Big Ben actually refers to the bell inside, not the tower itself.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, the tower itself, I think, is just called the Tower of Westminster. Big Ben is just technically is the name of the
Mhm.
bell rather than. Hang on. Oh, changing of the guard.
Mhm.
Yes, very good. Awesome. All right, Michelle, what's the next one? We've got another famous place, don't we?
Oh, the Tower of London. This was one of my favorite places to visit.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, my screen's a bit dodgy. Okay, an old royal palace and prison, the crown jewels and dungeons.
Yes. So, Michelle, why was this one of your? I'm almost afraid to ask. Why was this one of your favorite places to visit?
Because it was so interesting. You learn because when you go to a museum and things like that, you see things in a very beautiful setting, and I don't think you appreciate the gravity of the history behind it.
Mm.
But when you're in the tower itself, it's a little scary. If you go down the dungeons, you explore the whole place, and there's so much history you learn about these people who were imprisoned there, some of them unfairly. Um, so I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that whole process. It very immersive. It was a very immersive experience.
It is, and it's a really good. Michelle, you did, I imagine, the full tour.
Yeah.
It's a really good tour. Again, you have to pay for it, but I think, Michelle, you'd agree, it's something you should do. You should pay the money and have the experience.
Definitely. It was about, I remember it was about £20. I don't know if it's more now. It's probably more now, but back then
it's something like that. But again, for example, Michelle, if you're a student, is it a bit cheaper?
Yes, it is. If you're a student, they do have student discounts. I think you could pay like €6 less or €8 less. So that was nice. Yeah.
Worth doing. And it is really interesting because it's very old. A lot of famous people in English history have been held prisoner there, have even been executed there, in fact. So there's a lot of, and you can see a lot of places where they did horrible things to people, the torture chambers, the execution sites.
Yeah, absolutely. And it retains some of that horror.
Yes, absolutely. You feel
it. So yeah, you feel it. So it's definitely far more intense than anything else I experienced. Touristically.
Yeah, totally. Okay, Westminster Abbey, famous church, and it is a museum where you can do a guided tour, and it is the site of royal weddings and coronations. When we have a new king or a new queen in England, okay, Westminster Abbey is where that king or queen is, you can say, crowned or coronated. They're pretty much interchangeable as you want to use them, okay? To be crowned or to be coronated, okay? So when, for example, when Queen Elizabeth dies, Charles, her son, will be crowned as the new king at Westminster Abbey. It's where Prince William and Catherine Middleton got married, for example. And again, Michelle, I don't know if you've done it. I've done the guided tour, and it's really good. I did the audio tour, so where you have the headphones and you can walk around,
right?
Like you can do here at Duomo. But I loved it. What about you? Have you been there?
I have, and I really enjoyed it. It's a beautiful, beautiful church. You know, some people say when you see one church, you see them all, but that's not true. And it's very different from Italian churches in terms of style. And I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I had a choice between, but this was something that was really low on my list.
Ah, okay.
What was at the top of your list?
Sorry, do you mean of all of these? If I could choose one, do you mean? Oh, yeah. If I was going to recommend one of these to somebody, I think I would say the Tower of London.
Me too.
I think, but just behind it would be the Houses of Parliament.
I agree. Number 2, it should definitely be Houses of Parliament.
Because that tour is also really, really interesting. Did you do that one? Sorry, I forgot to ask. Have you done that as well?
Yeah,
you've done
definitely.
everything. You've done everything.
I was there for a while, right? The Houses of Parliament was on the top of my list because I thought that would be a really good experience to see how the world's most functional democratic society works. Like
TBC, to be confirmed. And the last one, Michelle,
the Olympic Stadium, built for the 2012 Olympic Games. I did not go there.
I did not either. And in fact, now it is the home football stadium of Tottenham Hotspur, the football team.
Oh, okay. They have a lot of money.
Yes. So it is now like basically the home stadium of one of London's most famous football teams. But you can still, I've not done it either. I've not visited, but you can still go and you can do the tour, for example. All right. Okay. Now, this is a great question, and I'd be really interested to see what everyone's going to say to this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is, Michelle, which country would you most like to visit?
Ooh, which country would I most like to visit? South Africa. I really want to go to South Africa.
Okay. Wow, you said that like instantly, no question.
I've had a lot of time to think. Coronavirus days. If I could go anywhere.
Yeah. Okay, Michelle, why South Africa?
Because it's really rich in culture, it's really rich in history, and it's naturally beautiful, and the food is supposed to be really good.
Yes, that is. I've heard that too. Good barbecue, especially. Great wine as well. You know, there's a beautiful wine country. Great seafood. And also the nature, the animals, the wildlife.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there's a little bit of everything. But another place I really want to go is Maldives, and that's just from my Instagram FOMO. I'm being honest. It looks so beautiful.
Okay, I mean, and is that would the Maldives be a holiday of just lying on the beach, swimming, drinking little drinks with umbrellas in them kind of holiday?
Yep, exactly.
Total luxury.
Yeah. How about you? The country you'd like to most visit?
I think for me, I'm one of those people where it could be one answer one month and another answer the other month. But I think for a while now, I've really wanted to visit Argentina.
Ooh, nice.
It's a country, but I think because it's like this kind of neo-European society in a completely non-European place.
Right.
And FOMO. Okay, Michelle, you're gonna have to explain that one. I'm not letting you let that go.
Okay, so when your friends go out, they go out to a bar without you, and you think, oh, I wish I could go, but you can't go for whatever reason. So that feeling, probably, so that feeling was like, oh, I wish I could go, is called FOMO, fear of missing out. It's usually common in teenagers. But as you get older, you realize JOMO, the joy of missing out.
What's JOMO? Okay, I don't even know what this is.
The joy of missing out.
Which means that you feel like you didn't do something and your feeling is, thank God.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Okay, all right. Yeah. And yeah, so I would say Argentina would be my number one. But Michelle, you gave a second one. You said the Maldives. And I think for me, I think my second one that I'd love to go to would probably be Vietnam or maybe Thailand. And those are just food holidays for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I really like. Okay. Now, see, I'm thinking about it. Also, India, also because of food.
India.
This is, yeah. India and Pakistan and Bangladesh. The whole subcontinental region is just a food paradise.
Yeah, because we have little else to do. Food is. We have no bars in Pakistan. We have no clubs. We have cinemas. We have shopping malls, and we have food.
Yeah. So you can watch a film, do some shopping, have some dinner.
Yeah, that's a typical night out in Pakistan.
Sounds good to me. sounds fine.
Why don't you guys write to us and tell us which country you'd like to visit? We've already spoken about ours. I'd love to see South Africa. Liam would love to see Argentina. How about you guys?
Yeah, we really want to know. We're very interested to know what you guys think. Okay, but in the meantime, because that's what we're talking about a little bit today, is just these superlative phrases that you can see. Okay, so what we've got here, for example, is we've got a list of different locations, and then we've got the places where we'd most like to and we'd least like to. And then you've got all of the verbs that we can use with these different locations. So it's about kind of constructing a sentence. Oh, what's Chiara said?
Chiara says she would like to go to Norway. So Norway is the place and Norwegian is the adjective.
Yeah, so Chiara, like Norwegian people, Norwegian language, Norwegian food, for example. But the country itself is Norway because she would like to see the Northern Lights. How beautiful.
Ooh.
Beautiful. But Chiara, I'll give you, Chiara, a little bit of advice. If you would like to see the Northern Lights, you can also go to Scotland. If you go to the very north of Scotland, they also have the Aurora Borealis, where you can also practice your English, I would add, as well.
I didn't know they had it in the north of Scotland as well. I thought it was Norway, Iceland.
Yeah, so in Scotland, you've got to go pretty far north. I'm talking about the islands in Scotland, where islands which are so far north, which, to be honest, you are basically in Scandinavia. And they sound Scandinavian, in fact, the people on those islands. It's really strange when you hear them speak.
Right, it's like the Italians in north who sound more German than Italian in the far north.
Exactly. We've had students who have these very German accents when they speak Italian. Okay, so again, I think Michelle and I can just go through some of these. And again, you guys just kind of, jump in. Tell us. Okay, Michelle, city. Why don't you start us off with that one?
The city I'd least like to visit is, the city I'd least like to live in is Riyadh.
The city you'd least like to live in?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I can understand.
Okay, what about the place?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Okay, let me think. The place. Okay. So Leonardo, just before I answer, I'll let Michelle go back to that one.
So fear of missing out is when you are afraid that your friends are having fun without you, essentially.
Yeah. So Leonardo, if there's a party and you decide not to go, and all of your friends go, and then later you have this feeling of regret. You start to think maybe it was a mistake not to go to this party. Okay, because you think everyone's having fun, I'm at home, so you have this fear of missing out. All right. Okay, so place, let me think. Which can I say? The place I'd most like to live in is California. I know it's a cliche, I know it's obvious, but there's a reason it's an obvious answer.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Great weather all year round.
Yeah.
I'm sold. You don't need more from me. That's it.
Exactly. It's like, everyone says California. Well, there's a reason that everyone says California.
Yeah, the quality of life is high there. The weather is amazing. Food is amazing. People are fit.
It's like a country, California. There's people from all over the world, so you can eat anything you want. You can meet people from everywhere. It's perfect.
Yeah, and it's left wing, so that's important as well.
Absolutely. It's a very, very liberal, friendly, progressive society. Okay, Michelle, museum.
I don't know. I can't think of a museum that I've wanted. The Louvre. I haven't been to the Louvre. Yep. The museum I'd more like to visit is the Louvre. I haven't been there.
Yeah. I've been to Paris twice, and I've not been to the Louvre either time because the line The line of people is just insane.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hate lines. I hate lines.
I like lines because I'm British, but there's a limit. British people, guys, we love lining up. Show us a line or a cue, for example. Q is one of those bizarre words where the only letter you pronounce is the first letter, which I love about that word. The thing. Okay. Okay, well, this could be like do, I guess, or see.
Or eat.
I don't know. Or, yeah, true. I mean, I'm trying to think of an example for me. I think the thing I'd most like to do would be to kind of travel through and around Latin America. I think I would really I'd like to try, you know, in a car or even like on a bike or however. I think that would be my my nomination for that. What about you, Michelle? Oh, Leonardo's got a good. The museum I'd most like to visit is the Guggenheim in Leonardo. Almost perfect, but yeah, in Bilbao.
Yeah. Okay. The restaurant. The restaurant I'd most like to eat in is Sushi Samba. We've discussed this.
We did, and for me, I'm also going to nominate a place which is St. John's, which is also in London. And St. John's is a kind of, it's a classic British restaurant, but it specializes in what we call in English is the kind of nose to tail of cooking. So every part of the animal, including the interior, the tail, for example, the head, all of the good bits, all of the good stuff. But I'd also like to go to a restaurant in New York, which is called Momofuku, which is a noodle place in New York.
I've heard about this.
Run by David Chang. Sorry, got a question from Katerina, who says the correct way. Yes, it is Queue, which, but don't worry, Katerina, it's completely unnecessary because you only pronounce one letter of the word, which is the letter Q. So it's such a weird word.
Leonardo says he would like to eat in the Taverna Locatelli in London. It's an Italian restaurant in London.
Yeah, by the great chef Leonardo Locatelli, who is from Milan, in fact. Leonardo Locatelli, he's very famous in Britain because he's on TV a lot. He does a lot of, he's a really, and he seems like a very nice person, I have to say, not like a typical chef. He seems like a very nice guy. Okay, Michelle, country, we kind of did that, didn't we? At the beginning.
We did talk about country. I said South Africa, you said Thailand.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, guys, again, please let us know what you think. We're really interested to know. I mean, unfortunately, I think we've only got about 90 seconds left.
Yeah, that's too bad.
So we don't. Yeah, I've also just noticed Chiara. She said the country I'd most like to visit is Vietnam. Very good, Chiara. I agree. I assume that's, again, for the food. That's usually the first thing I do when I'm planning a holiday is I go on Wikipedia or just online and look at, you know, what do they eat in this country.
Me too.
What's more important for you, Michelle, when you're thinking about where you're going? Is it food or weather?
Ooh, good question. Okay, first it's the weather, because if it's too cold, I know I'm not going to enjoy myself. So the weather has to be, you know, sane, but then food.
Okay, so it's a close second.
Yeah, it's a close second, but you know, if I have two places and they both have like equally horrible or equally good weather, then food comes first.
Fantastic. Okay, guys, I think we're going to have to stop there for today. But thank you so much for being so responsive and interactive. We really appreciate it, don't we, Michelle? It helps us a lot.
Absolutely. We love it when you guys comment and write and give us feedback. It really makes these classes a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, and keep an eye out online, on especially on Instagram and Facebook, to hear about any other upcoming events. And we will see you again soon. Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.